All right. Good evening and happy Wednesday. As you see a lot of red, not only on the slideshow, but the panelists as well. And then you see a big car in Carrie's sweater. You might wonder, what is that all about? Well, if in case you didn't know, and maybe you forgot, or maybe you haven't forgotten, maybe you're counting the days, this Friday will be Valentine's Day. So from the United States and the Federal Credit Union, we want to wish a happy Valentine's Day, to you and your loved ones. We hope that you have lots of love, lots of affection, and that's the reason why we're going to through this topic this evening. Love and money, building financial harmony in your relationship. My name is Eddie Villanueva. I'm the Engagement and Events Manager here at the USSFCU. Please relax, have a great time with us, get your dinner, get your coffee, your water, whatever your preference is, and just please make sure that you enjoy this evening's webinar. There is a surprise after the questions this evening that you may already know, but please stay tuned because we have a prize this evening. And I know that unfortunately employees cannot participate. So panelist team, to break the news to you all, Carrie, Kim, Milton, we're not able to participate, but one of our lucky attendees will be the winner of that prize. And I do see a lot of familiar names on the attendee list. So thank you very much. If this is you're coming back again. And if this is your first time, welcome to another weekly Wednesday webinar. And talking about questions, don't forget to write your questions using the chat feature or the Q&A. And as we do every single week, our commitment is to answer all of those questions live at the end of the presentation. They can be about the presentation that you're about to see. They can be about, something specific about the credit union. But please don't ask about love advice because I don't think we're certified for that. But you can ask anything else. And with that being said, I'm going to pass it on to our membership development analyst, Kim Fredlich. Kim, please take it away with the introductions.
Thank you so much, Eddie. And good evening, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy Love and Money Day. So Eddie said, we're not going to give any advice on love. So I thought I would sing a little song for you guys, but I decided not to. But it's Financial Love is in the Air. You know the tune. Just wanted to thank you for joining us this evening. We have, Eddie already introduced himself. He introduced me. So thank you, Eddie. We have Carrie Lazar, our content expert queen. And everything that you see here is organic. The slide presentation, Carrie is responsible for, and she always does a fabulous job. So make sure you give kudos to Carrie in the chat. And tonight you get the privilege of having Milton present our webinar, Love and Money, Building Financial Harmony in Your Relationship. He is the Membership Development Officer. He is my awesome leader. And we are so privileged to have him present tonight. So take it away, Milton.
All right, Kim. Thank you. Eddie, also thank you for that intro. And always, as I said, being our official MC of the weekly Wednesday webinar. So with that being said, let me go ahead and turn off the my camera. And as I was getting ready for the presentation, I know the topic of it is love and money, and as part of my intro, I always like to start by saying, welcome to Love and Money. And for some reason, I almost caught myself because I was getting ready to say welcome to Love is Blind. I'm not sure if anyone here has seen that on Netflix, but I'm so glad I caught myself and I didn't say welcome to Love is Blind. So instead, I'm saying welcome to Love and Money. We're so glad that you could join us this evening. We're going to dive into how couples can navigate their financial journeys together, from understanding spending habits to building strong financial agreements. Plus, we're going to share some practical strategies for fostering financial harmony in your relationship, which is very important. And don't forget, I believe Eddie mentioned it, we are going to be giving away a $200 Visa dining gift card to one lucky winner this evening. So please Sit back, relax, enjoy this webinar. It should be an exciting one. It should be a fun one. I know myself, I'm very much looking forward to it. And you know, the irony that Valentine's this year falls on a Friday, so it's a perfect excuse to go out and enjoy the weekend. And on top of that, if you're like us, we actually get to take Monday off because of President's Day. So this is going to be a perfect, ideal weekend. So again, thank you all again for making time out of your busy schedules and joining us on this webinar. And let's dive in. So when we think about relationships, right, specifically romantic ones, money often isn't the first thing that comes to mind. We're drawn to the emotional connections, the shared experiences, and the dreams that we build together. But you know, in reality, um, money doesn't um, doesn't have to get in the way when you are building those meaningful connections, right? So I have a question for you all. You know, how do you and your partner handle your finances as the bond gets stronger? You know, that is definitely a good question that I want to ask. So as Eddie mentioned, you know, we want this webinar to be interactive. So please make sure that you use the chat feature. Also the Q&A along the way. If you have any questions, we'd love to see your comments and questions and suggestions. As always, we are always very open, and we do have a commitment that we will answer every question and read any comments that come through. So again, please make sure that you take advantage of the features that we have available for you this evening. So with that being said, how you and your partner handle your finances can either, again, strengthen your bond, or it could create tensions. So the key is realizing that managing money together isn't just about budgets or spreadsheets. It is about building trust, aligning your values, and planning for the future you both envision. So throughout this presentation, we're going to explore how to find that balance between romance and the practical aspect of life, making sure your financial decisions support, not strain your relationship. That is very important. So let's take a look at what the numbers tell us about love and money. I know I haven't done a webinar in quite some time, and if you have attended a webinar, some of the webinars that I lead, I love to provide you all with data. And this was a study that was actually done by Fidelity back in 2024, so just last year, about couples and money. And believe it or not, 45% of the couples that were part of the study, they admitted that they argue about money from time to time. And even some cases, it's a frequent thing. So that means that nearly half of all relationships experience some level of financial tensions. Even more striking is that 1 in 4 couples identify money as their biggest relationship challenge. That is a significant number, highlighting how just how important it is to get your finances in order. So despite the challenges, almost 9 in 10, and get this, almost 9 in 10 couples, they believe that they communicate well about money. So while couples think that they're having a productive conversation, there might be some gaps in understanding or perhaps in the execution. So when we zoom out to the long term, especially, I'm sorry, for the retirement, most couples, they worry about the unexpected healthcare costs and the fear of outliving their retirement savings. You know, these are valid concerns. We can all relate to that. But with proper planning and communications, they don't have to become overwhelming, a source of stress. So we need to make sure that the main takeaway from this is that even if you feel confident in your communication now, it is crucial to consistently check in with your partner to ensure that you both are aligned, not just for today, but for the future together. With that being said, now that we've seen how money can become a source of tension in our relationships, let's shift our focus to what actually makes it work. So, managing finances together isn't just about the numbers, it is about how you approach those numbers as a team. First and foremost, open, respectful communication is key. Again, let me repeat that. Open, respectful communication is the key. It's not just about discussing your income and expenses. It's about being honest, listening without judgment, and approaching financial conversation as a partnership, not as a battleground. So the next thing that we want to make sure is that we know that it is important to have shared beliefs and values, right? So we know that that could the money the beliefs that we have about money could definitely have a different meaning for everyone, and that money doesn't mean the same for all of us. It all depends on how we were raised, and so again, keeping that in mind, it's going to be important. And lastly, successful couples create clear financial agreements. So this could be anything from deciding how to split the bills to outlining long-term saving goals, having written or verbal agreements to ensure that both of you are on the same page. And it's that something that is going to give you something to refer back when life gets busy or the unexpected challenges arise. So remember, together, these elements are going to help you build a strong foundation for both your finances and your relationships. So if there's one thing that can make or break a financial partnership, it's communication. You know, and also get this, that there's always a catch, right? So we say how communication could be something that can get in the way, but at the same time, communication can also be a good thing, right? So we had to know that communication, it's about listening, compromising, and making decisions together in a way that it feels fair and balanced. So think about it this way. How often do you and your partner actually sit down and talk, not just about the bills or schedules, but about your goals, concerns, or even how you're feeling about your financial situation? Take a moment to ask yourself, how much time do you and your partner spend talking each day? And when you talk, are those conversations productive? Are you both feeling heard and respected? By improving how you communicate about money, you can build stronger, more connected relationships, not just financially, but emotionally too. Very important. With that being said, we know that even the strongest couple can struggle when it comes to talking about money. But recognizing the warning signs early can help you address issues before they become bigger problems. Here are some of the most common signs of poor financial communication. The first one that we want to talk about is avoiding the money discussion, right? So if you or your partner consistently dodge the conversation about finances, it might indicate discomfort or fear around the topic. Also, frequent arguments over spending, constant disagreements about purchases, big or small, can point to deeper issues in how you view money. And secrets or hidden expenses. So hiding purchases or not being upfront about your financial decisions can create a breakdown in trust. And trust, we all know that it is very important that you build on that. And also unclear financial goals. So if you're not on the same page about saving, investing, or budgeting, it's going to be hard to move forward together. And last but not least, feeling stressed or overwhelmed when discussing finances. If every money conversation feels like a battle, it's a sign that your communication strategies needs adjustment. So the good news is that these issues are permanent. With the right tools and willingness to engage openly, you can turn these challenges into opportunities for growth. So, why is it that something as practical as money can be so difficult to talk about in relationships, you may ask? Well, there is a few common reasons that many couples face. The first one is the fear of conflict. So money conversation can get emotional quickly. We all know that, and I think we can all relate to it. And many people avoid those type of talks because of the fear. So you know, different money backgrounds, like I said early, right? So we all grew up in different experiences, right, around money. So whether your family was was wealthy or more carefree with spending, those early lessons that you learn in life can shape how your finances become as an adult. And when two people come from different financial backgrounds, it can lead to misunderstandings. So the lack of financial knowledge is also something that we tend to avoid talking about. It can be intimidating to discuss topics like investing, debt, or budgeting if you don't feel well informed. And also emotional ties to spending and saving. So for many, money isn't just numbers on a spreadsheet. It represents security, freedom, or even self-worth. So these emotional connections can make financial conversations feel deeply personal and sometimes a little vulnerable. So recognizing these barriers is the first step. Once you know what's holding you back, you can start to work through it together, turning those difficult conversations into opportunities for growth and connection. So, with that being said, sometimes the biggest barrier to talking about money is simply not knowing how to start. Many of us didn't grow up learning how to have healthy financial conversations, and that uncertainty can carry into our relationships. The good news, learning to talk about money is a skill. So, and like any skill, it can be developed. So let's explore some practical ways to on how to build that confidence and strengthen your financial communication. So with that being said, we want to focus on how to build a communication bridge that strengthens your financial partnership. So first, you need to identify your communication style. Are you direct and to the point, or do you prefer to ease into the conversation? Do you like to plan ahead for discussions, or are you more like spontaneous? So knowing how you naturally approach conversations can help you better express yourself. Next, take time to understand your partner's style. They may process information differently, need more time to think about things over, or prefer a different tone setting for serious conversations. So recognizing and respecting these differences is key to avoiding misunderstanding. And finally, it is important to adapt and connect, especially during financial discussions. If you know your partner prefers a calm, quiet setting for serious talk, then try to meet them halfway. If you're someone who likes to tackle problems head on, but your partner needs a little more time to process, then guess what? Patience. You need to be patient. And know that building this bridge isn't about changing who you are, but it's about finding ways to connect the work for the two of you. So again, it's a partnership, it's a team. There's no I in the team, right? I'm sure you heard that many times. So there's no I in team. So this is a partnership. So with that being said, when it comes to building better financial communication, it is important to understand the different ways we interact with others. So we all have unique communication styles that shape how we approach conversations, especially around sensitive topics like money. So the first is your social lifestyle, right? So this is how you learn to communicate based on your upbringings, culture, or environment. Maybe your family talked openly about finances, or perhaps it was a taboo, something that you didn't talk in front of everyone. So this was something that was just it's just your parents talking about it, and that was it. They will hide or go in and speak in private. So there are early experiences that we all know that can influence on how you handle those discussions today. And then there's also your hardwired style, right? This is your natural, instinctive way of interacting, especially under stress. For example, some people might shut down or avoid the topic altogether when things get tense, while others become more assertive or defensive. Recognizing these tendencies in yourself and your partner can help you navigate tricky conversations more effectively. By becoming aware of this, or any of these two styles, you can adjust your approach to foster healthier and more productive financial discussions. Now that we understand the importance of communication styles, let's dive into some practical tips that can make your financial conversation more productive and, most important, less stressful. First, know your preferences. Think about what helps you feel heard in a conversation. Do you prefer calm, quiet discussion? Do you like to finish your thoughts before jumping in? Recognizing these preferences help you communicate your needs clearly. Second, respect differences. Your partner's communication style might be very different from yours, and that is okay. The goal isn't to change each other, but to acknowledge the differences and find a middle ground. Maybe your partner likes to process things silently before responding, while you prefer talking things out right away. So, understanding this can prevent unnecessary frustrations. And finally, plan conversations. Financial discussions shouldn't only happen during moments of stress. Set aside regular times to check in about your money, whether it's once a week, bi-weekly, or monthly. Having scheduled talks can reduce the tension and make these conversations feel like a normal part of your routine rather than a source of anxiety. With these simple adjustments, you can create a healthier, more open dialogue around finances. So it's very important that we take this into and put it into action. Very, very important. And now that we have the tools for better communication, let's talk about how to plan a productive money conversation. The way you approach these talks can make all the difference in how effective and stress-free they are. So, first, choose a relaxed, distraction-free time. Trying to talk about finances when you are both stressed or busy isn't going to lead to a great conversation. I think we can all agree to that. So, find a calm moment where you can both be present and focus. Next, set an agenda. Think about what's most important to discuss ahead of time. Are you reviewing your monthly budget? Talking about long-term savings goals? Knowing what you want to cover is going to help you keep the conversation on track. It's very essential, it's important and essential to focus on solutions, not blame. Instead of pointing fingers about past spending mistakes, shift the focus to how you can move forward together. Remember, it's not about who's right. It's about finding the right path together. And lastly, celebrate little progress, no matter how small. Whether you paid off small debt, save a little more than the usual, or just managed to have a calm conversation about money, that's a win. We gotta celebrate all the wins, no matter how big or small they are. And recognizing that these moments, it's going to help you build a positive momentum for future talks. So, with the right approach, money talks can actually become, something that you look forward to rather than dread about it. So, very important to put this into practice as well. So, to move forward with your financial goals as a couple, it is helpful to take a step back and look at your money history. So the way we think about and handle money doesn't just come out of nowhere. It is shaped by your past experiences, especially from childhood. Ask yourself, how did your family handle money? Was it a source of stress or a topic that was openly discussed? Did the budget did they budget carefully, or was it spending more spontaneous? Think about their spending habits. Were they savers, always putting money aside for rainy days, or did they prioritize enjoying life and the moments? So these habits, whether we realize it or not, influence how we approach money in our relationships today. And finally, how did your family talk about finances? Was it a taboo subject, or were financial matters shared openly and honestly? If money was a tense or avoided topic growing up, it's natural that those feelings might resurface in your current relationship. It's totally normal. So Understanding your money history and your partners can help you recognize the patterns and work together to create new, healthier financial habits moving forward. Once you explore your individual's money histories, the next step is aligning your shared beliefs and values around finances. This is where you and your partner can come together to create a unified approach to money that reflects what matters the most to both of you. So start by asking, what is the purpose of money in our lives? Is it a tool for achieving security and stability? Or is it about enjoying life and creating memorable experience? Maybe it's a mix of both, right? Then discuss what you value the most. Is it financial freedom your top priority? Or do you focus on saving for long-term security? Perhaps generosity, right? I mean, we all know that generosity plays a big role, and giving back to your community is something that you both care about. And finally, think about how you prioritize spending, saving, and giving. Do you allocate a portion of your income to savings first, or do you prioritize paying off your debt? How much are you comfortable spending on lifestyle expenses versus setting aside for future goals? By having these conversations, you will uncover what drives your financial decisions and find ways to support each other's value. This alignment is key to creating a financial plan that feels right for both of you. Once you align your values, and the next step is going to be to create a clear financial agreement. These agreements help prevent misunderstanding, set expectations, and keep you both on the same page. So start by deciding who handles what financial task. Maybe one of you is better at managing day-to-day expenses, while the other focuses on long-term savings or investments. Dividing responsibilities based on strength can make managing money as a team more efficient and, most important, less stressful. Next, think about how you will manage joint versus individual expenses. Will you combine all your finances or keep separate accounts with a shared budget for household expenses? There's no one size fits all. Here, it's about finding what works best for you and your relationship. And finally, discuss your savings and investment goals. Are you saving for a home, planning for retirement, or setting aside money for future vacations or big purchases? Agreeing on these goals is going to help you ensure that you both work towards the same financial future together. And know this, having these conversations and formalizing your decisions, whether it's written down or simply agreeing upon, can strengthen your financial partnership and reduce potential conflicts down the line. So, key question for financial agreements. So these are 4 questions that I want to give you all a little homework. I want you to ask yourself this 4 important questions. The first question is, what are you agreeing to? Second, how will you put this into action? 3, how will we stay accountable to each other? And 4, what difference will this make in our life? So ask yourself those main key questions when you are making that financial agreements with your partners. So no matter how well you plan, life has a way of throwing curveballs. I think we can all relate to that, right? Whether it is an unexpected expense, a job change, or even a big life milestone like buying a home or starting a family, things don't always go according to plan. But there's the good news. With the right tools, you can navigate these challenges together and stay grounded. First, rely on open communication. We're talking about open communication here. Make it a habit to check in with each other often, especially when something unexpected comes up. Keeping those lines of communication open is going to help you tackle the issues as a team. Remember, team, it's a partnership. It's not just one person, it's 2. So you got to make sure that you keep that and make it a priority. Second, Lean into your shared values. When tough decisions arise, like cutting back on expenses or adjusting your financial goals, having a clear understanding of what matters the most to both of you will help you guide with the choices that you make. And finally, stick to your clear financial agreements. When you already establish who handles what, how expenses are shared, and what your priorities are, it's easier to adapt when life gets complicated. And we all know that life will happen, but with a strong foundation, you'll be ready to face anything as a team. As we wrap up, remember that financial harmony isn't just about numbers. It's about building trust, sharing goals, and supporting each other throughout every stage of life. When you communicate openly, align your values, and create a clear agreements, you're not just managing your money, you're actually strengthening your relationship. So, as you celebrate Valentine's Day on Friday, think of it as an opportunity to deepen your connection, not just emotionally, but financially too. Start the conversation today and take the first step towards creating a future of you both feel confident in. And as always, we like to give you some resources that we provide for you here at the United States Senate Federal Credit Union. Pretty sure everyone knows that we do have a financial advisor here. His name is Michael Schimmel. He works with Fellows Financial. And Michael can talk to you just about anything, whether it's retirement, investing, or if you want something more complex like estate planning, you name it. Um, Michael Schimmel is somebody that we trust here at the credit union, and he can definitely help you have those conversations and create a plan for you and your partner. So if you want to get more information, I highly encourage you to go to our website, ussfcu.org / FAS to schedule your consultation with Michael Schimmel. And with that being said, I know we're gonna get to the part here with everyone has been waiting for. Let's see, I think my camera is back on.
Yes.
And we wanna again thank you all for joining us today. I really hope that you found this information valuable. And it's gonna help you strengthen your relationships with your significant other. And as we stated at the beginning, we definitely wanna answer any questions, any comments. I know Eddie, you've been keeping track of the chats. So if there are any questions, we want to address those. And then once we completed that part, then as I said at the beginning, and I mentioned last week, I think we all know that Eddie got recently promoted to a new position, and he told us, you know what, I got extra money from my paycheck. And why not give away $200 to a lucky couple so that they can enjoy themselves this Valentine's on the credit union. So, Eddie, let me open it up back to you, sir. So, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Milton. I almost call you Mr. Milton. Let's say Milton, right? Thank you, Milton. We appreciate you for sharing that amazing information, great content, a lot of great tips, a lot of great information that you're sharing, especially because sometimes, doing your finances individually can be a little bit difficult. Now, if you have somebody else, it can add more challenges as well. But that's the reason why we share this seminar. I mean, this webinars, so you can have some tips as a couple to see how you can make the best out of your money. A lot of the comments are some tips that people are saying, and one of the things that we want to emphasize that was part of the slideshow was open communication. Talk to each other, what your goal is as a couple, what your goals are as individuals, and come to an agreement. So I think that's one of the things that Milton was mentioning is open communication, and always communicate anything that it's in your mind and that you want to accomplish as a couple. Another thing that somebody said is don't necessarily share all your accounts. That means that you can have your regular sole accounts, but you can also have joint accounts. And I think that was one of the questions that we had. If I'm not mistaken, it was, when do I decide to have my personal account versus when do I decide to have a joint account. I think that's something that, it depends on the goals that you want to accomplish. Like Milton was saying, and Diane as well, this is not all fit for all. Every couple is different, and everybody has different finances goals as well. Another great tip that somebody was saying is that instead of talking about the accounts, talk about the goals, which I think that's a great tip. Because it's about perspective. How you talk about it, how you talk about it with your partner, instead of saying like, no, you have this account, no, you have the other account. I believe that if you want to talk about the actual goals that you want to accomplish together, I think that's great. Let me see, what other ones do we have. Um, I did have this one. Panelists, if you want to jump in, please let me know. But since we have it on the questions, I need to read it. But it says, what if your partner has trust issues due to family members stealing from them in the past? How do you get them to trust you that you are doing this for your future? So what would you recommend to somebody that perhaps, has like those trust issues? I don't know if you want to jump in.
Yeah, that is a really good question, but so hard to answer because everyone is different. Um, our recommendation would be to keep the communication open. When you're logging into accounts that you're joint on, share that information with the other person. Just continue to be open, share what you can share, talk about what's happened in the past, and just, you know, let them know that that's not your intent, never will be your intent. Just those open lines of communication. Everybody's trust, once someone's trust is broken, it takes a long time to earn that trust back, whether you're the person who actually were the one or you're not the one. And everybody's timeline on that is so different. But just keep doing what you're doing. Open communication, budget, sit down, write out a budget together, talk about your financial dreams. What do you want for the future? And then just track it.
All right. Thank you, Kim. I really appreciate that. Thank you for being the brave soul to take that question. And like you were saying, it's difficult to answer, but I think it comes back to what I was saying earlier. Don't focus on that money portion, focus on the goals. What do you want to accomplish together as a team? Like Milton kept emphasizing, you are a team. So, Mr. Milton, do you offer a high yield savings account? Do we do that here at the credit union?
Absolutely, sir. We sure do. We do have all types of high yield savings accounts, whether you want something liquid in a form of a money market, or if you want to put something more on, for a fixed period of time on our share certificates or CDs. Even more advanced, if you want to sit down and talk to Michael Schimmel, he can talk to you about different options as well. But yes, absolutely. We do have that here at the United States Center for Credit Union. We'll be more than happy to share a phone number there, and press option 7. You can either ask for Kim Fridley or myself, and we'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions that you may have. But yes, we sure do, Eddie.
All right,
Great.
perfect. No, awesome. And I think something to emphasize that Milton is saying is contact us. Let us know what your goal is. And we have said this in different presentations. Let us know what your goal is. And then that way we can put you in the right, service. Maybe the high yield savings might be the best option for you. Maybe you want to, get more interest. So it might be a CD account, so, just let us know. Contact us, that 1-800 number, option 7, to talk to this amazing membership development folks. That's my right-hand team. Like I wouldn't be able to do the things I do without them. So thank you, guys. What is your recommendation for a couple living together in setting up a joint account to use for household expenses? Joint checking or savings or both?
That's a great question, Eddie. I would like to take. I would say most definitely. Our recommendation is to have a joint checking account. Also, I highly recommend, if your employer allows you to split your direct deposit, you could just have part of your direct deposit. I'm sorry, going into that account. And you all make sure that you title, you or you nickname that account specifically for that, right? So for household expenses or for utilities, whatever you want to name it. But having a checking account will give you that flexibility. The reason why we will recommend a checking account versus a savings is a savings account. They do have a limit of withdrawals per month or per statement cycle, depending on where you fall in. And so having a checking account will be the most ideal type of account that you want to set up jointly. And again, if your employee doesn't offer direct deposit, gives you the option to split your direct deposit, that you can take advantage of the ACH transfers that you can do. You can establish those as well. But anything, you can definitely make it work. Again, with nowadays technology is being so advanced that we got to take advantage of it. And again, we do have all of those services here at the credit union. We can help you link your external accounts into your account here at the credit union that you open jointly, and use that account for all your bills together.
Also, you haven't done so. If you have a savings account with a $5 minimum, your checking account is free here at the United States and Federal Credit Union. So why not get both? That way you can enjoy all the products and benefits that we have to offer for you all. There's a great tip that goes, with people trying to start a conversation with their families, with their partners about finances. And somebody said on the comments, in my experience, incorporating financial discussions as part of a weekly family meeting has been very, very fruitful for normalizing money talk. So I think I love that. It has to be one of the topics. I think weekly family reunions or couple meetings, whatever you want to call it, weekly. It's important to see if everything's going on well, if everything is okay. Incorporating that talk, I think it's very, very important.
Absolutely. Eddie, if I may add just something really quick, and this is just, I always like to give a personal, share some of my personal experience with me. And funny enough, right before I got into this call, I was actually having a conversation with my wife about me taking my daughter to Target from time to time, and how she always goes and grabs certain toys that she's a big fan because of what she sees in school and whatnot. So we are having a conversation this weekend because we're gonna have to make adjustments to our budgets because we seem to be having a lot of money going towards certain toys that my 4-year-old loves. So we're gonna be making some cuts here very soon.
I love that, your wife keeps you aligned, because it's the same thing with my daughter. My daughter got me wrapped around her finger. So Milton, I understand you, but we got to have those conversations, right? So I definitely understand that. Now, there's another question as well. When is the best time to bring up prenuptial agreements? So I don't know if anybody wants to.
That's another great question. We are not giving advice. However, probably as early as possible. That is a conversation you want to have as early as possible. Definitely before an engagement. The more open you are, the more you communicate what you have as far as assets, debts, the easier that conversation is going to be. I hope that helps.
Definitely. That was a good answer. And a disclaimer, we're not professional therapists for couples, so we just want to mention that we're just sharing our own experiences, especially when it comes to the finances. That's why we're giving these presentations, to show you some tips that you can implement in your lives as well. How do you start a conversation about long-term financial goals and then short-term as well? So how do you have that conversation? I believe it will be a matter of you talking to your person and see what their goals are, if they align with yours, correct? Milton?
Yeah, absolutely, Eddie. I mean, like I was sharing on this presentation, right? It's all about having those honest conversations with your partner, right? I mean, with your significant other, and making sure that you both are on the same page, right? I mean, so everyone, I love the dating part, right? When you start to get to know your significant other. And oftentimes, we don't think about money right away, right? Because we are planning our life and everything. But somewhere along the way, we must bring up the conversation and lay the roadmap as early as possible, so that that way everyone gets on board. So recommendation is, it's just to be upfront, especially if you're in the early stages, if you're already engaged, like Kim was saying, What are some of those plans that you guys want to achieve as a married couple once you do decide to get married or just move in together? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to start a family? All of those are things that believe it or not, it requires you to set money aside. It requires you to create a budget. It requires you to sit down and have a very serious conversation about how you're going to accomplish those goals. And so again, being open, having the conversation, and most important, building the trust. Right, the trust is something that we talked about. That it's going to be in my opinion, it's the main ingredient for everything to work. Because if you lose the trust, then it will be very tough on trying to make things work if the trust is not in there. So again, be very open from the very beginning, and express and let your partner know, what is it, what are some of those goals, what are some of the dreams that you want to accomplish, especially once you move in together and you live, you become one, right? Well, like they tell you when you get married. So.
All right, thank you very much. Before we can moving forward with the questions, we have a few questions to go through. Just want to invite you to stay tuned. After all these questions, we're gonna do the raffle of the gift card. Just please stay tuned with us. But we appreciate all the engagement. We love the comments. We love the tips, and of course, we love the questions as well. Also, somebody's asking if they're going to have this presentation. If they can have this presentation, absolutely. After that, the webinars, I know Kerry does an amazing job with the follow-up email. It contains a lot of information. And of course, we will be able to share the slides as well. Now, Kim and Milton and Kerry, you can jump into. Do you have examples of ways couples combine finances? What is most common to combine, and how do some couples do it? Who's the brave soul?
Sorry, I couldn't get myself off mute. I was so worried about the mute. Can you repeat that one more time? Sorry, Eddie.
No, no worries, no worries.
I want to make sure I understand the question.
No worries. Do you have examples of ways couples combine finances? What is most common to combine, and how do some couples do it? So I guess, what do you see most common of couples doing when it comes to finances? Do you see them saving more? Do you see them just spending more together or paying bills together? What do you think is the common factor?
Yeah, again, that is an excellent question. And to start, you really have to openly discuss what your financial goals are. You're going to have to create a joint budget. Just about every question that's being asked, I'm going to always go back to budget. You have to know what's coming in. You have to know what expenses are going out, right down to a cup of coffee. If you're going to share those joint responsibilities, you got to see it. Whichever way is best for you. We have budget tools on our website, budget documents that you just have to pre-fill, or you can create your own Excel. But you're going to want to gradually merge your finances. You're going to give responsibilities to each other. This is what you're responsible for. This is what I'm responsible for. This is how me and my spouse do it. And just take your time. You can still have your own individual accounts. But it's really important that if you are doing household things together, like paying bills, you're going to want to open a joint checking account. You're going to want however much is on that budget to go to that household account needs to go. And then you can disperse the remaining amounts of your payroll wherever it needs to go. But you've got to first start that conversation. What are your financial goals? What do you want to accomplish? And you have to just really have that open communication and talk about it. And then definitely a joint budget is so critical.
Absolutely.
And good luck.
And if I may add, Kim, this is also something that I talked about during the presentation, and that is also, know your strength, right? Like, know what are your strengths? What are you good at? Are you good on trying to stick to your paying the utilities, and managing the budgets on a monthly basis? Or are you more of a visual and future down the road and thinking, okay, my cup of tea is more of on the investment side, or perhaps saving for retirement, or if you're, you have this big purchase that you want to accomplish in a certain time frame, is that more of your expertise? So again, it's about getting to know each other and knowing where your strengths are. And if again, and then once you get to know and know exactly, have a clear picture, it's a lot easier how you're going to manage your day-to-day expenses and whatnot. So, but again, everyone is different, right? So not all, not everyone, has it's an expert in certain topics. And it's something again that it's also a skill, right? And its skill is something that you can master. So you don't have to be an expert today, but as long as you start, implementing and making little changes today, will go a long way down the road.
Perfect. Thank you very much for
Thank
that.
you, Milton.
I really appreciate the explanations. Personally, I'm taking, notes myself because, potentially in the near future, I'll be, married, and I need to think about these things sooner rather than later. Now, how would you approach finances where both partners are currently working, but you're anticipating a future possibility of one person leaving the workforce in a couple of years? Pretty much, in other words, you are planning on one partner becoming a stay-at-home parent. So how can you approach that?
Again, that is a super question. I love it. And I love that you're even thinking about the possibility of that. That's a goal, a dream. Again, it's going to go back to that budget. You're going to have to write down every single penny that's coming in and every single penny that goes out, right down to cups of coffee, fast food, eating out. You might, if you've not done a budget, you might even find out that you could actually start right now saving that other payroll. You might not even have to use it towards bills. You may just find that, you've just been living a really good life, traveling, eating out. But you definitely want to make sure that in that budget, you can make it financially just on that one income. And I have no doubt that you will be successful. And that I think is just outstanding that you're even thinking about that.
Perfect. Thank you very much. We have two more questions. Before we go to the last two questions, I just want to give a special shout out to all 67 attendees this evening. We are so happy, to see each one of you. And thank you very much for sticking to, through the end of the presentation as well. And we hope that you're learning something new this evening. Now, I think this question I want to understand, and I think it has to do with like the long-term goals, the short-term goals. But the question goes, how to start a conversation with an adult children? So like in the young adult, maybe they wanna, start discovering what to do with their lives, with their finances. How do you start a conversation? I know Carrie is gonna go through that very soon. No, she already is, because I know her son is not a baby anymore, even though that's her baby in her eyes. But how do you start those conversations with the young adults?
I would really like to take this one again. I don't want to be an answer hog, but I have adult children. I have a 36-year-old son and an almost 30-year-old daughter. And this is such a great question. I wish I would have asked when they were younger. So, it's not easy. It is not an easy conversation to have with an adult child. The first thing I would do is invite them to these webinars. I really would. But you really have to share your experiences, maybe even some of the mistakes that you've made along the way with debt, and how they could avoid. Most kids, though, are like they got to go through it and experience it themselves, even though we try to give them examples and tell them how to not have it happen to them. But that's really all you can do. Discuss, give them resources, go to our website or go to YouTube, look up United States Senate Federal Credit Union. We have webinars pre-recorded since early 2023. There are so many out there that could benefit my son, my daughter, your adult children. So just make sure, that you are sharing your experiences. And if you decide to help them financially, make sure that it comes with conditions. That's another really good it's time for me to grow up conversation. If you decide to help them financially, make sure it comes with conditions and make sure they learn, not to make the same mistake again. That's really all you can do. Just share what you've done, share how, you have created financial stability, and hopefully they will walk in those same footsteps that you showed them.
Yeah.
Great
And
question.
I will also add, and before I have my part, I know that Carrie is already teeing up the price wheel, right? Right, Carrie? The price wheel, it's almost complete. I know we have a lot of attendees, but if I may add to the answer, which was a great answer from Kim, I would just add one more minor thing too, and that is that when you are creating the budget, make it a family budget, right? So invite them to be part of that conversation when you're sitting down and having the budget conversation, so that they understand and have an idea. And remember what I said at the beginning during the presentation, that oftentimes the traits that we learn as child, it's something that is going to carry with us. So if you teach your kids your kids to be financially responsible at an early age, that is something that will stick with them. And so, when you're having those budget conversations, make sure that they're part of it. Make sure that they understand, how much are we paying on utilities? How much is the mortgage? How much is rent? I mean, how much is everything that's coming out of the account to pay so that we can live comfortable? And then once they see everything that's being, that's being covered in the budget, they will have that much better understanding of what it takes to be financially responsible as they get older and they become young adults. Great question.
Excellent. Excellent, Milton. Thank you. And remember that if you're a member, you can sponsor your immediate family members. Right now, you get $50, they get $50. We have GreenPath who could help them if they need help going over their credit report. Maybe they don't understand what goes into a FICO score. We also have a webinar on that if you look on YouTube. And fellows, they can talk to someone at Fellows if they're trying to, financially prepare for the future. So lots of resources here at the credit union. We have our education corner as well that will walk them through if they have to buy a vehicle or if they're looking to buy their first home. We are here to journey with them through every stage of life.
And that was a great segue, because that was the next question. Somebody was asking, if one person is a USSFCU member and the partner is not, can they become one for joint checking, etc.? Absolutely. Like Kim was saying, we have the family referral, $50 for you, $50 for your, your family member, your partner. So please take advantage of that. Make sure that they take advantage of all the products and services that we have. And it's an emergency fund, a savings account, a money market, brokerage account, etc. How many months should it cover?
Go ahead, Milton.
Sorry, sure. You can take it, Kim. That's fine.
Now, I was just going to say that's another great question. Typically, you're going to want to put those funds in a separate account. We have additional savings, additional shares that you can open here at the credit union, and you can actually name it whatever you want. If you want to name it emergency fund, that's what you're going to see when you pull it up online. They say 6 months, but to me, that's a little overwhelming. Little by little, a little becomes a lot. So, just start with what you can afford. Look at your budget, look at how much you have left over, and try to get yourself to $500 and then maybe $1,000. But truly, most financial advisors, which we are not, would probably tell you six months.
Yes, that's also exactly what I was going to say. So ideally, it's the 6 months is where you want to be. But my recommendation, this is something that I tell everyone that I talk to and have this type of conversation, it's trying to have at least 3 months. 3 months should be the minimum. We should all have enough to carry ourselves for at least 3 months should the unexpected happen. So again, have that emergency savings account. Make sure that it is in a liquid account, so you're not penalized for taking the money, accessing the money. And so again, savings accounts, a money market, would be the type of account where you want to have that. And with that being said, I know we're coming right at 7. So Eddie, do we have any more questions? If not, then I guess Carrie, we can move on into the exciting part of this evening and let's put all this money, extra money that Eddie got from his promotion and put it away. Make sure that our couple has a wonderful dinner on Eddie in the credit union.
I do see somebody that raised their hand. If you want to come off mute or you just want to send a personal message to us, please let us know. Melody Werner, I think they raised their hand. If you want to come off mute, please let us know. We can give you that. She also sent a comment saying if you can send her our contact information, and you'll receive that with the follow-up email. With that being said, Carrie, you're the money woman, so take it away, please.
So, sorry as I situate my screens here, but I'm sharing my screen. I'm going to give everybody a second as soon as I can get to it, to look and make sure that their name is on the thing. Sorry, it's so hard when you're sharing and have to toggle between screens. So all these pop-ups. All right.
One lucky person will get a gift card of $200 for you and your partner to celebrate Valentine's Day. So please make sure that whoever the winner is, you send us a testimony, how it was, what did you eat? We want to hear all about it. And go ahead, Carrie.
Maybe it would be, so it's hard to see the names on the screen, but we have them in list format here. And if it's easier, I'll just take a second to scroll down. They're in alphabetical order. If you don't see yours, just either raise your hand or throw it in the chat and I can add it quickly.
And while we're doing that, Carrie, I would also like to invite everyone to our weekly or Wednesday webinar next week, which, by the way, Kim is would be missed because she is actually going out on a quick vacation. I don't know who approved it, but somebody approved it. But we are definitely going to miss Kim next week. But for everyone else, we would love to have you back next week. We are going to talk all about IRA. So why IRA 101, how to get started and understand the basics of IRA. It's going to be an amazing topic. We have a great panel of experts that are going to be joining us next Wednesday. And it's a perfect timing because I think we all know that, right now it's the tax season, right? So I know that a lot of people are making sure that that their IRAs are in order. If you need to make any contributions for last year or this year, this might be the time to do so. And hopefully it's also going to help you pay less money to Uncle Sam. So again, definitely make sure you help us spread the word and invite everyone to next Wednesday, IRA 101. Same time, 6 p.m. With familiar faces. The only person that you're going to miss is Kim. She will be, Kim, you want to share where you're going to be next week, by the way, with everyone?
So one of my absolute favorite destinations, we've been there many, many times, my husband and I, and this is what he gave me for Valentine's, is the Greenbrier Resort. It's America's resort. I don't know if you've ever been to White Sulphur, West Virginia. There's a lot of history about it. They have an underground bunker. If you've ever heard about the bunker, if not, go out, Google it. It's very interesting. It was actually given up by a reporter back in 1995. He actually let it out that the bunker was there for Congress if there was ever a terrorist hit in DC. So you get to actually go and take a tour of the bunker. It is very, very interesting. Just a great piece of history. Just love it. So that's where I'll be.
Thank you, Kim. We'll miss you, but I'm sure we're pretty sure you're going to be having a blast. So enjoy it. And with that being said, Carrie, I'll stop talking now and hand it over to you.
Carrie, I did see a couple people say they didn't see their name, but I think I do see Mary Do on it. Mary D, I believe it's in the list.
Marie, right? Is that right?
Mary, sorry, Mary. I'm
I
so
know I
sorry.
added her because let me make sure.
And you
Marie,
got
yep, right
Lucy
here.
P.
And you,
Yeah.
Lucy P.
Okay,
Let me double
perfect.
check, but that's my
Okay.
niece's name. So,
Oh,
so I'm glad you said that because I don't remember adding the Lucy. So let me add Lucy.
Is that your niece? And then you're trying to get the $200 gift for Carrie? Is that what we're doing?
No,
Invite
she's
family
only
members?
7.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay, you're safe, Lucy. You're safe.
Lazar. I'll just add that. Is there anyone else, Eddie?
No, that's pretty much all we see. I think everybody else saw their names. So, with that being said, good luck, everybody, and
good luck, everybody.
drum roll, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll send it. The person whose name pops up, just tell us that you're still here. We'll give if we don't hear from that person, we'll assume they left and we'll draw another winner. If you do win and you're here, I'll follow up tomorrow morning by email if that's okay, and I'll just send whatever is, you know how they do the link in the, or I'll email you the gift card and I'll just reach out so that you could verify that you got it, and I'll know that you got it. And if you got any problems, just let me know. Okay.
All
Good
right,
luck.
so there
Luck,
you go.
everybody.
Good luck, everyone, and enjoy those $200 on us. Bill.
Bill,
Bill H.
hey, are you still here?
Congratulations.
All right, Bill, if you're still in, please send us a message. We want to make sure you're still here. If you can message the panelists or you can message to everyone. We'll give Bill about 30 seconds here. So, Bill, if you're still on, please send us a message. If not, if we don't hear from you in 30 seconds, then we will select a different name. So again, don't leave just yet. We want to make sure that the Bill is here.
Can you guys go down the panelist or the
That's
Yeah.
what
Perfect.
I'm doing right now.
You're
I
keeping,
do not see.
I
Oh,
do see
I
Bill
do see Bill
Hunter.
H.
Yes. If
Bill
you can,
H is still with us.
Bill, can you send us a message?
Congratulations, Bill.
Did he message us?
Not yet. Bill, can you send us a message through the chat feature or the Q&A, please?
or you could come
do
off
we
mic.
Or we
allow
can
to
allow you
talk?
to talk.
Yes.
I'm gonna allow Bill to talk and see if we hear anything.
Does it say that he's still on? I'm out refreshing my thing. I don't see him. So
Oh, maybe I didn't refresh. Okay.
Okay, let's roll again because
Okay.
all
Sorry.
right, so we'll
I didn't
spin
know
it.
I had to refresh. I'm
The
so
first
sorry.
one. Remember, you gotta be present in order to win. So
Yeah.
here we go.
let's go ahead and spin it again. All right, Lon C.
Is Long C still on the call? Well, on the webinar.
I don't see line C. Do you, Milton?
Your hand is raised. So Lon, if you can
Oh,
send a message.
Perfect.
that's awesome.
Well, I'll reach out to you tomorrow for sure. Is that
I see the hand is up, but I don't. Lon,
Gotcha.
can you send us a message? Make sure that you're still present.
He
It's Lon Chen.
Here. All
Oh,
right.
there he
All
is.
right, Lon.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Congratulations.
Lon. Yay.
You are taking a $20 gift card on us. So we hope that you have
Woo.
wonderful, wonderful Valentine's and enjoy it. Congratulations again, and everyone that came in and participated and attended this webinar. Again, we thank you, thank you, thank you. We highly encourage you to stay tuned. We do post these webinars on our social media, on our YouTube channel. I'm sorry. You can watch previous webinars, and again, make sure that you go and check those out. That we have so many different topics, so many great webinars that I'm sure you can find helpful. So with that being said,
Doc, I was just going to say, Milton, for those of you who like a chance to win, not next week, but the following Wednesday, we'll have more prizes when we do fraud bingo. So join us then.
all righty, you'll have a good evening.
Thank you, everyone.